Time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Not Jerry.
Hello.
Waiting. I'm waiting. All right. Almost there. All right.
You guys got any whiskey?
Fucking Bill takes a week off and all of a sudden the show goes to shit. Bill is down in Roswell. I'm not sure when he's going to be back. Sometime this next week, I think. And he said something about maybe joining us tomorrow live from Roswell. He's down there for a big an event. So hopefully aliens won't take him. We don't need that. We need Bill.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, the ones that jump over fences?
What?
Right?
Oh, God, that was such a delayed joke. It was like I'd already gone on to the next thought. And I'm like, what? Now I get it. Okay.
I
All
will
right.
draw you a picture next time.
It is Friday. And it's been an interesting week. I hope everybody is happy to see the weekend. How was your week,
He's not a bad
Sterling
player.
Archer?
Well, I'm currently watching 65. The week has been pretty good. Really busy. And we're having another snowstorm out here in the Chicago-based area. Mother won't let me leave the house because she's afraid I'll slip and fall.
But Mother Mallory is dead. No, that's
Mother
right.
Mallory is still haunting my dreams.
That's right. They don't. She's not dead in their world. She's off on an island.
Dead on the inside.
With the other actor. Yeah, dead on the inside. So, all right. I am mixing me up some more Fuel Up. This show is brought to you by Fuel Up. I am having Fuel Up Play right now, which keeps you energized, and I add a little more caffeine to it because I want to have a heart attack live on the air and traumatize everybody.
You traumatize us every week.
I'll get you, my little pretty, and your little dog, too. So it is Friday. We've got a lot of stuff going on this week. And Kieran's been busy as hell over there. He will not be joining us today. Kieran's got dinner with the in-laws today. So he cannot join us. We talked briefly. Yeah. Some of us have been going all day. Yes, it's true. It's true. And I'm glad that I took that away from you, Keith, because this way you're a little more energized for this show by not doing a morning show.
I think he's sleeping.
Thank you very much.
And it's all about me with my OCD and needing alliteration. I wanted Fantastic Friday to talk about fantastic shows. It's not why, but I just figured
you want to talk
mathematically.
fantastic show. Is anyone else hoping Lucasfilm goes to Discovery with that lawsuit?
I don't know I don't even know where this lawsuit's going. It's all about the producer, showrunner that was removed from The Acolyte. I forget her name. And she's going directly after Lucasfilm. Disney's in the lawsuit, but it's more focused on Kennedy and Lucasfilm. Mm-hmm. So I'm really fascinated on this stuff. I still have my question. I know what you said, Keith, and that's why I showed you Valiant Renegades video and what's his name, Ryan Cannell's video. That I think there's the potential that The Acolyte may be delayed because of some of this shit, even though they're hurting for money. Because you don't want that legal thing hanging over that show.
Well, at this point, I think I really do believe that if there has been any thought in her mind of trying to stick around, this lawsuit's going to take care of that.
You think so?
Oh, hell yes. Because first and foremost, Iger I think, has not only been following the plan that was laid out by his predecessor, but I think he's also been looking at the further developments of where they are financially since the governor's gotten involved with everything. And he's pretty much had a major come to Jesus moment. I think financially, Disney is way worse off at this point than even Warner Brothers. And so they need to make a lot of changes yesterday. And I think any opportunity that Kathleen may have thought in her head to have tried to stay, that's out with this lawsuit because they can't afford anything. They cannot afford anything right now.
No, the studios right now, Warner Brother and Disney are in the same boat.
True, but it's about the difference of price.
Warner has made moves, taken steps to alter that. Disney is still in the middle of making decisions on how to fix the problem.
One of the actual moves that came from was Zaslav. Now he's doing the licensing, and the licensing of that canceled Batman animated series, The Caped Crusader, is now going to Amazon for 2 seasons. Yeah, that was this week. Yeah. You also have Disney is in trouble, but I think it's not just Iger trying to get things back in trouble. He's trying to pretty much make sure.
Well, he created most of this anyway.
All the stuff he's caused the problems with all this woke activism, with all this bullcrap, with all the failures that are going on because the script has now become this self-identity politics of I'm going to inject my immortality into these shows and these characters rather than giving us a quality show. He is now trying to cover it up. So the way you got to look at him is this way. He's there holding the carpet, and he's just sweeping it under and pretending he's doing God's work. And the only work he's doing is his ego.
Well, I really do think he is attempting to fix some of it. But that's the thing, though. He can't fix all of it. This is not something that you're going to be able to fix before the next quarterly report. This is something that he's really going to have to roll up his sleeves and do something about. And unfortunately, from his point of view, he's going to have
job.
Well, he's going to have to tick off a few people that he kind of gave a wink assurance to. At this point, things have changed.
Every single woke person that was hired during his run that were really a lot of the problematic people, he hired them.
Yeah.
Nate
and
Moore,
you get
same one.
Well, I mean, for instance, look at everything with Marvel. I mean, again, WDW Pro and Valiant Renegade and everyone else have been pointing out to the fact that long before we got around to the latest Ant-Man film, things were not going very well. Phase 4 is officially a bust outside of Spider-Man.
And once again, a reminder, Phase 5, promising to be different.
Oh,
geez. The exact same people.
And to be honest, Spider-Man, I don't even want to lump in there. Sony lent them Spider-Man for that, for No Way Home. It's still a Sony thing. And that's why Sony I think, is starting to push away. Well, but the leaks coming out supposedly for Madam Web, I'm terrified for.
Oh, heck yes. No. Look. Sony lucked out by having their own thing to do, but they are way worse off creatively. Because if they take Spider-Man on their own, we're going to go down this little rabbit hole here called Suckfest and just completely ruin anything that character had going on because they're sticking with a plan that's now, almost 15 years old?
Keith, what they need to do is we need to have a Hollywood Royal Rumble, and you put in Alex Kurtzman, you put in J.J. Abrams, you get Victoria Alonso, you get Taika Wacko, whatever his name is, don't care, Ryan Johnson, and all they do is they sit in there and they start slapping each other with their own crappy scripts, and whoever survives still gets nothing, and you make more money.
I think there is one person who is really done very well for themselves, and they're ready to work. They're rolling up their sleeves and they're ready to go. And that's Brian Robbins. It's a name we haven't heard very much of, but for Gary and I know this guy.
Oh,
he's a former actor who took over Paramount. He's now the head of Paramount, and he made it very clear that he wants Star Trek back, and he wants real Trek, not what has been passed off as Trek. So the latest developments make him more than just happy.
You can already see that with Terry Matalas and the way Picard is. And if anyone wants to yell at me about Picard season 3 and saying I'm being a shill, well, shut up. It's not.
Hold on, I would like to talk about that too.
We can, but I want to.
You and I need to talk about here on the show because I have some opinions that are along with yours. But before I do, this photo is important. This photo is essential to what we're talking about. Real Star Trek.
To a degree, but they need to wash their clothes. That's just nasty.
Yeah, but the Hang Loose by Captain Kirk. Come on, man.
Dude, hang loose. He got brown stains like from. But what I was trying to say is,
he really does. He looks like his pants are full.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, like, just because someone's enjoying like a little bit of TNG that's actually being given back, like actual Trek giving back, doesn't mean you forgive what's been done. That's the whole thing. You got to separate. You got to separate, and then no one wants to do that. You got to
separate the art from the non-art. You got to separate the art from the artist. And I agree with you. I see what they're talking about the quality of season 3. I still also see huge problems. It's still Kurtzman Trek in the fact that it's dark. Mm-hmm. It's always dark.
Yes.
And it's annoyingly dark to where I had to alter my computer settings just so I can see scenes.
Yeah.
But also there's some logic issues. Like first episode, I had some problems with some of the stuff they were laying out for us. Also, we know that they're saying Lore's coming. Lore was completely dismantled. Who put him back together? How did they find the parts?
You're forgetting a trailer actor that hasn't even been mentioned. That's Moriarty. But what I was trying to say is this: that I think the biggest problem what we're seeing with all this, relates back to Kurtzman, this goes back to Abrams and everything else from New Trek, whether Discovery, everything else is.
Well, they have lost part of that contract.
Yeah, but they've lost the main focus of what most Star Trek is. To boldly go and to explore, meet new races. There is no exploration in this series anymore. That's why it's so dark. That's why it feels so Dominion-like, because there is no exploration. They're not doing anything to better themselves and meet new species and grow. There's no growth, and it shows even in these series. There is no growth except, I like your hair. Cry. I'm a gay doctor. Go to hell. Give us a story. They're not even doing that. Where's the captain's log? In the toilet with the rest of the
series. In the toilet in Kurtzman's office.
Yeah. Let's not forget that when they were shoveling the gene off the boot. Remember that? That stuff's still there. I don't forget that. But when I see 10 Forward or when I see Riker giving half of a speech that we got from the last 2 episodes of TNG before the series ended, you're starting to see that Terry's at least putting some type of adamant respect while taking underlying pot shots about like the Stargazer and all that stuff. And you know what? I'm not forgiving them, but I can enjoy that moment because guess what? That means someone's listening.
Hello.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Sorry about that.
Well, no. Go ahead, Keith.
I agree. You could only do so many things while working, for the company or in this case, the production company that has been responsible for changing everything. Terry Matalas. His big thing was that he was able to actually come in and write a script and get away with certain things that, again, Gary and I, you and others have been saying, that when you do not study or understand Star Trek, there's a lot of things you can technically get away with a well-written script. Okay, now you can't change everything because it had to look like it was within the same universe as the first 2 seasons of Picard and all the other stuff they've done. I totally get that, and I'm willing to make allowances for it. In that respect, I am exactly, I'm exactly the same as my other brother, Robert Meyer Burnett. So,
Keith, there is a great point, and I'm going to relate this to what I was watching Nerdrotic yesterday with Dave Cullen. Great point. Paramount could have gotten the easy way out and actually stop and not even have fans lose their minds if they just said, this is set in the Kelvin universe, this is set in the original universe, and this is set in the mirror universe. They could have, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not going to get it exactly right. But if they actually did that, you know what that would have meant? That technically these are different universes, the characters have the same names, but you're not shitting on the legacy. And that is I think most people are coming from. They're tired of pulling knives out of their backs while someone is holding a finger at their face saying they're bad people.
Yes, they are tired. They should be. And that's the reason why I was talking about Brian Robbins. Mm-hmm. Brian Robbins now is standing off to the side, ready to go. I personally think he has an idea of where he wants to take Star Trek when he brings it back to to the film division and makes more films. I don't know how they're going to do the whole thing on television, but I think at this point, I think they're going to take a break from TV for a little bit. And they'll just go ahead and start producing movies. Now, I think it would really be in their best interest to go a little cheaper, to use the basic plan that they had started with Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, and just go ahead and just treat it like, something that they could pour a lot of work into scripts and have sets and characters that are,
But they
that
have
also.
I agree with that. But they also have the template right there. Literally, DS9 is a perfect template that you can take something that not only had war and dark, but also kept the light. DS9 was that perfect in the middle, right? And then we got Voyager, and then it became too much about I want to hump the Borg Queen without humping the Borg Queen crap. Let's get that out there. But it was there. Like, that template was there. And people are fans of Enterprise. I'm not. A Voyager, 7 of 9 in a tight skin suit. Hell, thank you. We needed that. But DS9 was the template, but you don't have to be DS9. It's like they were trying to take Babylon 5 Dark and mix it with Kurtzman ego, but they didn't have any respect to just throwing in a little bit of techno garble, not wasting, and then we still have the Burnham effect. Oh my god, I'm having seizures. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Mikey Burnham and dyslexic Spock.
Well,
I don't even get it. It's like, I'm so tired of that. We need to give them some sort of defect or affect. It's like, oh, come on, give it a fucking break.
Yeah.
You would never have a command officer on a command deck with anything like that.
I like Shaw. I'm sorry, I like Shaw.
No, I do too. I like the entire crew of the Titan. This is the first Star Trek series in a long time where the crew of a Star Trek.
His line about being an asshole is one of my favorite moments in this episode.
The crew of the Titan are the first Star Trek crew since Kurtzman's taken over that acts like they're on a Star Trek show. Yeah. That entire crew is, in fact, the people saying, hey, I wouldn't mind a Titan series. If they had to keep this universe going, cancel everything else and give us a Titan series.
Yeah, now I do have a beef, though. I have a beef with one of the cast members. I really hate it when a character has to stop their job to turn and deliver a line. And they keep doing that with LaForge.
Yeah.
The other character manning the weapon station continues doing their job and delivers their lines.
Yeah.
But LaForge has to always stop and turn and look at them. And that's annoying.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
It's not perfect, Trek, but guess what? If I'm not turning it off after 10 minutes, sorry.
Nope, I'm watching it. I'm enjoying it. I have little beefs here and there. Yeah. But overall, this is 1,000 times better than what we've been getting.
Since 2017.
Yep. This is just an absolute turnaround. And I'm not sure how we got this, what brought it about, who decided to make this happen this way. But it works. But the problem I fear is if I were to watch it through my Paramount One Plus account, I won't do it because I don't want the credit going to Kurtzman.
I don't watch Paramount
because
Plus.
The word is they've already let go the showrunner, and Kurtzman's not fired.
See, that's the biggest fear, isn't it? That if Picard season 3 gets too much praise, Kurtzman's going to come back and trample it on for a few more years.
Yep.
You can't say that with 100% accuracy.
Yeah, if you cannot guarantee me 100% that that's not the case, then I'm not going to watch it through Paramount Plus.
But we don't know if Kurtzman will be brought back. I know we're hearing rumors.
We don't know with any certainty, any direction.
Yeah.
And because that giant question mark is in the sails, we have to rely on the facts. And the facts are we don't know, so therefore I'm not going to do it.
I lean a little more towards what WDW Pro was talking about, which is after the massive financial failure of Clarice, that basically his goose is cooked. He lost them so much money on that it was really it's going to be next to impossible to really get them their money back from that. And that basically he's out the door. The big thing beyond that is how do you bring all this back without having to give any money at all or any credit at all to the guy who basically caused all of this pain and suffering? You may have to reinvent the entire thing just to change it.
No, it's easy. Keith, it's easy. It's very easy. Gary as well. All you guys here, it's really easy. All you do is a Star Trek special where you just show a tombstone with Kurtzman's name on it and it's all his fault.
Let's go back to
you make so much money.
The second Star Trek pilot where it says James R. Kirk will replace that with Alex Kurtzman. Look,
Oh, jeez.
I don't like soap opera-esque stuff. That's my problem with Deep Space Nine. But I did go back because of Keith. I went back and watched the last 2 seasons and of Deep Space Nine, and they were good.
Yeah.
It was good. But I lost interest because of the interpersonal relationships. It got a little too love boaty for me. And I'm just like, I'm out. And I agree with you, War Monkey, in that respect. I don't think my problem with the current show, Picard, is actually the secondary story, which is following what's her name.
Oh, Raffi?
She's absolutely. Raffi wasn't even in this latest episode.
No, it was Worf.
Yeah, Worf and she were not in this episode. It was purely the shit going on. And did anybody that watched it catch the great Star Trek 6 moment?
I haven't seen this week's episode yet, so
I saw them play baseball in the Nebula, as well as that.
Did anybody
call back to Farpoint?
Keith?
Well,
yes, that was a callback to Farpoint. You're right. I thought that too.
And let me just say, I did enjoy this episode. I must say that again, if there's any way to have a Titan spinoff series with that particular crew and Shaw, do it. Because
now, what is the villain's name in Picard? The female commander.
Don't care.
I'm asking for a reason, Vatic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see, because there is a shot of her in the episode that I don't know if I can find it, where she repeats something her actual biological father did.
Hey, Socks.
You catch it, Keith?
I will say this, Socks.
I know what she does.
It is absolutely in the episode. It is absolutely intentional. There's no way it's not intentional. There's no way it was accidental. That when they pull back on her sitting down in her command chair, she pulls the exact same thing her dad, who played Chang in Star Trek 6,
sitting in the chair,
spins in the seat. And I went, ha! I'm alone in this fucking room. And I went, ha! I caught that. I was like, ha! Nice Easter egg.
I'm just at a time now where I'm too drained just to get slapped. I would rather just enjoy what I can.
Stop milking the monkey.
And Picard is better than Last of Us, and I dare you to change my mind because Last of Us has gone down a hole where I'm like, why are you doing
which one?
Last of Us. HBO.
I can't watch it. I got into episode 2. I finished episode 2 and started episode 3, and I'm like, I'm out. It's just I don't know, man. You gotta grab me.
No
you know, with your writing and your storytelling. You know, I watch shows like I was just talking about it on our morning show. I watched the hell out of Hello Tomorrow. Grab me from the first episode.
You have a morning show?
And I watch the other show, 1923. Anything Taylor Sheridan writes, it grabs you from the first moment you watch it.
Yeah.
You know, that's writing. I like high drama. And Taylor Sheridan is one of those writers that takes Japanese opera-style dramatic, high drama, and makes it believable. There's nothing kabuki about it. It's just, holy shit. It's still reminiscent of kabuki, if you know anything about kabuki theater.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch. And we talked about the second episode today, or third episode. It's the one where they get caught in the tree and they're trapped by the lions, and their car is overturned, knocked over by an elephant. You know, and then of course you get the other part of the story here in America, where Harrison Ford's character and his men get attacked, ambushed, and are shot. He's shot to pieces by a Tommy gun, Thompson automatic submachine gun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's some intense shit in one episode. They're not married yet, but Spencer and whatever her name is, I forget her character's name, Alexa or something like that, Alexandra, they get trapped in a tree, hiding from these damn lions that know they're there. And there's this moment where you realize he won't let her suffer. He will kill her before he allows her to be eaten.
Yeah.
You know, and that's some intense freaking writing in this show. And that's the kind of stuff I want. And you get a little bit of that in this Picard.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment there where I got a little perturbed, but at the same time, I understand the drive of Riker's character. He's angry at Picard, because Picard's in his freaking ear. Now, fire everything. And he's like, throw everything. And then it's like, oh, they needed that. Oh, it's like, we're dead. We're dead in the water. Leave my bridge. Tells Picard.
Killed us all.
You guys are totally missing the callback from that too, though. That was actually again from the final 2 episodes where Beverly got pissed off.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Same thing. That's why there's 2 parts of the 2 parts.
That's really good. It's a good nod. I really liked that scene, and I liked it later when Riker goes, "I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that." Owning your commands. Own your commands. Own your freaking orders.
Well, they didn't know the portal weapon could do that either. So you're pretty much at the end of the day, even if they didn't have the portal weapon, it could have succeeded. The problem is you can't blame Picard for not knowing the weaponry on the ship because some of it was unknown, and we saw that.
Yeah, it's all unknown to them. What's going on that ship is unknown to them. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing, and they don't know how they're doing it. And so I enjoyed that part. And I think, though, and I'm going to say this, absolutely. My favorite part of the new series is how they close each episode with the First Contact theme, because I consider it to be the best of the Star Trek themes, outside of the original Star Trek theme from '66 and the version of the theme that was done. Was that James Horner? Is that James Horner did the theme for the motion picture? I thought it was Goldsmith. Jerry Goldsmith. And Jerry Goldsmith did this one. So, they're the 3 best themes, and 2 of the themes are by the same composer. And I consider that feeling, that warm feeling you get from that theme from First Contact.
Well, and we also have to add in the fact that, you have the writing staff that they ended up using for this show is a lot of the writers that had worked with Terry Matalas on his last television series, and that the composer of the music was also someone that had worked with him on his last TV series. These were not people.
Well, don't mention the series and not say what it is.
Oh, that was
we're all waiting, Keith.
That
Nobody
was
talk.
Shh. Hold on, I'll get it. That was geez.
Only we had a device.
If only we had
look up information
what the fuck?
At the speed of internet. What was it? 12 Monkeys? Was it Terra Nova? What was it?
12 Monkeys. That was 12 Monkeys.
Hold on. MetaPC's just messaged me in their stream. What?
What's that?
I'm going to mute for a second. Hold on. I just got.
Yeah, and I need to say hi to everybody. We haven't said hello to everybody in the chat. Monkey Jubas, thank you. Come again. Anima Confused, I love of my life. Socks Bulletins is here. Joe Fox, Boosh, McFadden, Dragon Ruse, Wajid Leaky, comments, War Monkey, and Real Wade Nation Gaming is here. Greetings, guys. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. It was fun doing the show this morning.
Oh.
And now we're just doing some talking about shit. And
we're
talking about Picard.
Between this morning show and now, I realized I'm going to have to go back and watch everything I watched in the hospital because I don't remember crap.
Drugs are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so high.
Is that oxy?
Wow.
Oxycontin, man. So before we get into anything else, I do want to do this because Kieran can't be here because of dinner with his in-laws. So I am going to go ahead and we're going to still talk about a little Geekosity. So I'm going to pull up some Geekosity here. Let's see. Let's pull up some Geekosity and see some of these headlines. And I love to see that, even though I hate that Joy Lynn is gone, Kieran is working overtime now, writing for the magazine. So it's between him and Mikey right now, the senior writers. So Keanu Reeves discusses his Wolverine interests is one of the headline stories. It pops up right at the top. Next one, John Barenthal won't allow Disney to ruin Punisher Return. Again, Kieran Bug, 2 articles by Kieran. Another one by Kieran. Michael Keaton wins fight against Ben Affleck's Batman in study. That means poll. The British in their turn of phrases. Mark Ruffalo, I'm going to mispronounce his name on purpose because he annoys me, delivers hope of Robert Downey Jr.'s MCU return. I wonder who wrote that one. Oh, Kieran Bug. And then James Gunn assured DC fan he doesn't lie. Bullshit.
He lies like William Shatner's cheap rug.
Lies like a rug. He's as full of shit as a Christmas goose. But and we will get into what he did this week, which, you know, it's a headline over at our friends over at Bounding Into Comics, as well as covered over on comingsoon.net, that James Gunn went after a fan for pulling the race card into the decision of casting the character. What is that character? It's the High Evolutionary.
High Evolutionary, yeah.
And High Evolutionary, first of all, isn't even human. Why it would give a more human face at all, I think is bad. It sets a bad precedent. You're turning it into a race by doing it that way. It should just look humanoid. It shouldn't look like white, black, or Indian. It shouldn't look like anything. That they didn't fix that is kind of weird. So James Gunn's right and also full of shit at the same time, because they are absolutely turning it into a race thing by doing that. But at the same time, he makes a comment, and I'm going to read his comment here. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Share screen. Let's go to it. James Gunn over on our friend's site, Bounding Into Comics. We love them. They let us post over on their group. Made me one of their editor guys for their group on Facebook. Love these guys. We love John Trent. Trent's a good dude. And he wrote this article. James Gunn defends the race swapping of the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 by accusing fan of having racist presumptions. James Gunn, he's kind of full of shit there. Tell me I'm wrong, Keith, by saying that. He may not lie, but that doesn't mean he's not full of shit.
Well, I mean, he's protecting an actor that he's had some experience with. The actor that he...
And I agree, you should protect your actors, but he's full of shit in the way he's arguing his point.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, James Gunn, the current CEO of, co-CEO of DC Studios and director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, took to Instagram to accuse a fan having, quote, racist presumptions, end quote, for decrying the race swap of a High Evolutionary in the upcoming Marvel film. Let's go ahead and go to the Twitter. He says, damn it, another white guy they made into a black guy. Well, there he's wrong. He's completely wrong. He's not a white guy. He's an android. He has no race. Other than android. Why couldn't they just leave him alone? Why? I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Look, I get what he's talking about because it is a real complaint. It's a real issue. But then we get James Gunn's response. I chose the best actor. Great statement. That's a great statement. You choose the best actor for it, period. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And the best person for that role. I don't give a shit what ethnicity is. So stop with your racist presumptions. But why do they make him look like a black guy? Why didn't they go out of their way to make him look alien? They did it with Thanos. In fact, nobody seemed to know that was a black man under the Thanos makeup.
It was purple.
Originally.
They absolutely changed his features so much that he looked like the character from the comic.
Yep.
Right, Keith?
Yeah. The actor that he has for the High Evolutionary is the actor that he originally had on his television series, Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And again, somebody that he's had a connection with. Personally, I agree with you.
You know who played Thanos previously?
Well, I don't remember the guy's name.
Oh, come on now. Come on. Anybody? Anybody?
No, speak English.
I'd forgotten.
Speak it English. I'll show you who it was. That's who played Thanos.
Jonathan Majors.
Most people don't know that. There he was. He was in that makeup looking just like Thanos out of the comic book. No idea what his race is other than alien. And that's my problem.
Well,
they did that, and I know that there are people out there that complain about that shit, like with Star Wars. I've heard their complaints of black actors being put under makeup to look like an alien and not showing their blackness. And I'm like, really? That's a dumb argument. It really is. Because all actors need to do that when you go under makeup.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not racist to make an actor look like the alien race they're supposed to represent, right?
Mhm.
So it's a stupid argument. So in this situation, if I were the teacher in a classroom, I would put both boys in the corner. James Gunn and the idiot that said it in the first place, saying the android was white, because he's not white. He's an android. He's red,
Yeah. Purplish red.
purplish red. So, yay! Pop culture minefield neutral.
Look,
I done it.
it again.
Hey,
Marvel,
Loki.
Marvel at this point needs something to really be a hit. Hello, Loki.
Well,
Hey, Loki.
hey, look how much they're pushing back. Agatha's probably not going to come out.
Hey,
What happened to the Iron
Agatha
Wars?
all along.
Nothing. The Marvels got pushed back after that horrible poster.
Well, they changed Armor Wars from a series to a movie.
They did, but do we really need more CGI Armor War crap?
Well, with the bad CGI we've been getting, like Ant-Man is just some of the worst I've ever.
Yeah.
Look
I
at Ant-Man
hated
in the box
end of
office
the
right
first. The battle at the end of the first Black Panther was really bad. It really was, and now we see Ant-Man 3 with the Wasp, and the Wasp isn't even why was the Wasp even in that?
now. To save
movie?
him. That's it.
It's just the character did nothing. Hey Loki, I just sent you an invite if you want to join us and talk about this shit. You are more than welcome, sir. In Twitter, I sent it over on Twitter. But anyway, Marvel.
Sorry.
Yeah, wasn't
Hollywood has
Evolutionary's
been
name
called-
Jason Wingard?
Excuse me.
High Evolutionary, because Monkey's pointing out that yes, he was originally human, but I think his name was Jason Wingard.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
This is a character I didn't
yeah.
care too much about. I thought he was just a straight up android.
Excuse my typing.
No, it's okay. We're waiting for you.
Yeah,
Nobody-
Jason Wingard. Yep, I was correct.
So that's the character's name.
Yep.
I'm going to share this real quick because I don't know what to do with this news. I really don't.
Oh, Herbert Windham, not Jason Wingard. Jason Wingard was somebody else.
Okay.
Sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. Yeah, Jason Windham. Or Herbert Edgar Windham, known as the High Evolutionary, is antagonist in Marvel Comics. But he's always had that purple look to him.
Find a look for who he is. Was he a human or what before, or what are they saying? Because I always thought he was an android.
No, he was human, but he experimented on himself.
So
Some
how did he
point
start?
Well, he started on animals.
No, what race was he? As
He
not
was
just
human.
human. Okay, I'm done with this questioning of John.
It
The whole
doesn't say
point of this
otherwise.
discussion is, because did they never show him in the comic as a human?
I don't remember what he looked like before he looked like the High
Keith,
Evolutionary. So
Comic expert, help us out here.
Oh, that's deep Marvel.
Too deep. All right.
Too deep for
Okay.
me.
All right, let's skip it then. William Shatner, 91, confirms he doesn't have long to live in new statement. Because he's in his 90s, for God's sake. So clearly, he's probably going to make 100, maybe like George Burns. Whether I keel over as I'm speaking to you or 10 years from now. See, that's exactly what he's saying. He's probably got 10 years tops. Because that's the average thing. When guys that live that long life usually make it between 90 and 100.
Mm-hmm.
George Burns actually, made it to his 100. Sadly, what's her name? Suzanne from Betty White. Yeah. She died just before her big celebration, a century. And she was literally older than sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? So, because she was born the year before Wonder well, they started making sliced bread as a
Yeah.
thing. And so William Shatner, it's not like he's sick or anything like that. It's just he's saying, look, I'm old. I'm in my 90s. I'm probably living on borrowed time. Or he would say it like this: I'm going to die one day.
Kind of spry for a guy that's at least 10 years older than Patrick Stewart.
There you go. Also in the same article, he discusses, again, that he has no regrets over snubbing Nimoy's funeral, which I'm curious. I'm probably going to read that. I'm mobile at the moment, Gary, but thank you. You bet, buddy. It's good seeing you, man.
Yep.
Love to hang out with you some more. We never get enough time to hang out.
I know.
I like running into him on another show, another stream. So, and Dork is here. Hi, Dork. Dunny. High Evolutionary's original race is unknown. His origins are shrouded in mystery, and his true identity has never been revealed. He was a human scientist named Herbert. Okay, then you just completely contradicted that first statement.
Yeah.
Before transforming himself into the High Evolutionary, but his original ethnicity or race has never been specific. Well, he is human, so that is a race. But I wanted to go deeper into that, like what version of human was he? What was his ethnicity? Because this guy was making a statement, and was there any foundation to it? And apparently, no, there is not. So he's just dumb for saying that. And James Gunn, right with the first part of his statement, wrong with the second part. So both get put in a corner. I'm still right. Yay, me. I win. I did it. I did it. I did it. Anybody know where that's from?
Yeah.
That's a callback.
Dreamcatcher. It's actually from King.
Stephen King. I did it. Ultra Rob. Keith knows Ultra Rob.
Morgan Freeman.
Or Ultra Rob and I would, like, after going to see that in the theater, we'd walk around for weeks. Whenever we did something where we felt like we accomplished something, we'd jump up and go, I did it.
Wow.
Win a game. I did it.
Keith, aren't you happy you weren't around for that?
He goes, fucking white people and their problems.
Get out of my brain.
Get out of my brain. So let's move on to something else. Let's get back to some Geekosity. Share screen. Let's talk about this thing here with Keanu, because I know this was a thing that was being discussed for a while, that he wanted to play Logan. And he could easily have been played a version of Logan, easily.
Yeah.
In one of their multiverse moments. So our friend Kieran writes, Keanu has recently discussed his interest to portray Wolverine, which denotes active interest when he says interest, but instead of saying was interested. When you think of movie stars, chances are high that Keanu Reeves will be the first to spring to mind. After all, he starred in multiple iconic blockbusters throughout his incredible career, like The Matrix, Point Break, and Speed. I would agree with that one, and I would agree with that one, and I would not agree with Point Break. I'm not a big fan of that film. In addition, Reeves is also famous for his work in Bill and Ted, which I also love, Toy Story 4, and Bram Stoker's Dracula with his terrible English accent, but it was a very good film. Moreover, he portrayed two of cinema's most badass characters that's ever been put on screen. Of course, we're talking about Neo, also known as The One, and... Okay, who's being arrested?
Yeah, there's some good for somebody.
I'm sorry, that's like way down. Like I'm 21 stories up.
Yeah, can we mute that just for a sec?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to. I didn't.
There we go. Thanks. John Wick, a.k.a. Baba Yaga, both of which are undoubtedly the actor's most well-known and most beloved roles. The latter of which he sets to reprise in a fourth installment later this month. Yep. Last time we saw the unstoppable assassin, he was near death. We don't need this part here. Okay, thankfully he was... Yeah, we don't need that. John Wick franchise has remained... Yeah, we don't need that. During his career... No, we don't need that. But he continued. Nonetheless, there was one character that he's always had a strong desire to play. A certain short-tempered mutant with the adamantium claws. In his reply, Reeves said, "No, but I did always want to play Wolverine. See, this is still past tense, the way he's phrasing it there. This isn't the first time the actor has expressed his feelings about playing Wolverine. He previously brought up this same topic while promoting Bill and Ted Face the Music. Great film. I enjoyed that. Not as good as the first two, but it was a good film. Co-star Alex Winter believed there was still time for Reeves to take on the role in some shape or form. However, Reeves, being more pessimistic, said that it was too late for him now. That's not entirely true with the MCU now exploring the endless possibilities of the multiverse, and having an older Logan would be freaking cool, in my opinion. To have two Logans older? Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. When most asked about this, Reeves said that they haven't yet found a character for him yet. He explained, "We have met, and Kevin Feige's a cool cat. Yeah, but no, we don't have anything. Got to find something." And so something might come out of this deal. I mean, who doesn't love Keanu? God, that's like hating roses. Hating something beautiful and amazing.
Or hating air.
Yeah, I hate air. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Any thoughts on that with Keanu?
You know what? It would have probably been a perfect role for him about 10, 15 years ago. I agree.
Yeah.
He's probably not able to do it now, but I just can't believe they can't find anything for him. I mean, come on, it's Marvel. Oh, wait a minute. They're only willing to
It
go
might
back
have
so
been
far.
it might deal with money right now.
It could, but he's worth it. I mean, does anybody here think he's not worth it?
I don't know. I think he is. I love Keanu, man.
He's getting ready to open a film that's like 3 hours.
You give him
long,
a percentage and pay him less, I guarantee you he's right there. That's what he wants right now.
He's getting ready to open a movie that's getting a lot of high praise for, and the only down thing you could say about it is it's long, so upcoming John Wick movie is getting a lot of high praise. So
Yeah, but there's so much action in John Wick, you don't notice the length.
well, you always notice the length, but
Railway Nation, I am not going to be able to chat this evening at
Racing.
all. Once I'm done here, I got to get straight into doing artwork. So it's like I've done 8 hours. By the time we're done here, it'll have been 8 hours of work on one job, and I got to go to the other job right after. So I'm sorry, buddy. No chatting today. You'd have a better chance tomorrow, but I've already got commitments, so you just got to just try me tomorrow. Try me tomorrow. It's the best you can do. I'm sorry, bud. So John Barenthal says won't allow Disney to ruin Punisher. Apparently, he went into the offices of Disney fully armed with the armor on, threatening to take him down. No, it never happened. This article again by Kieran Bug, who is not here today because he's got dinner with his in-laws. John Barenthal returns as the Punisher, but we won't allow Disney to water down the violent anti-hero. First of all, it's a scoop confirmed for Geekosity founder Mikey Sutton on September 16th, 2019, which we remember. I remember that shit. We talked about it right here.
mm-hmm.
Sutton scooped that Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige wouldn't recast Netflix Defenders, which also included Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. However, Disney Plus didn't exist yet. Thus, either Hulu or FX would have ended up with them. Obviously, that all changed with Disney Plus launching on November 12th, 2019. On December 6th of 2021, Sutton updated his story, revealing that Barenthal will appear in Marvel Studios' new Daredevil Born Again series, following his appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home and She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Daredevil will finally star in his own TV show once again. Announced at San Diego Comic-Con last year, Daredevil Born Again is set to commence filming any day now. Both Cox and D'Onofrio are set to reprise their roles as Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk, respectively. In addition, they will play pivotal parts in the upcoming Disney Plus spin-off series that everybody has been begging for, Echo. I'm being sarcastic.
What? Huh?
I'm sorry. I think it was only the deaf community that actually was wanting Echo.
Nobody asked for it.
Yeah,
nobody asked for it. And I'm telling you right now, there may have been a few people out there shouting their fingers off to get it. I don't know. But moreover, it's been nobody even got that joke. Not one of you.
I got it.
I got it. I didn't want it.
Shut up! I'll give you a pity clap.
Hold on, Gary. I got it for you.
Moreover, it's been recently revealed that Daredevil won't be the only hero from Netflix Marvel shows to return. 4 years later, The Hollywood Reporter basically makes it official. Barenthal will reprise his role as the Punisher in Disney Plus Daredevil Born Again, per THR. Quote, John Barenthal is returning to the most punishing role. The actor will reprise Frank Castle, a.k.a. anti-hero The Punisher, in Marvel Studios' Daredevil Born Again for Disney+. Sources tell The Hollywood Reporter Barenthal joins Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio in the series, which begins shooting in New York this month, end quote. Undoubtedly, this will generate a lot of online excitement for Daredevil Born Again. Alas, concerns will be raised as well when Daredevil appeared in She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Some Netflix fans were upset because he wasn't violent and brooding enough. Brooding enough. Like, why did he have to throw enough? I'd make fun of Kieran if he was here for putting the word enough in there. Was that really necessary? That's your spin. That's your spin on your opinion. That's your opinion being thrown in there. Instead of just telling the article, I get after journalists that do that shit. Enough is a word that gives you the writer's opinion, the journalist's opinion. As if that would be appropriate for a legal comedy. Well, first of all, you can have dark and brooding and make a joke about it, Kieran, if you're watching. You can do that. I mean, that's how they do it with Batman in the, what is that cartoon? The
animated series. Yeah,
the animated cartoon with him being overly dramatic and Gordon a drunk, you know.
Oh, Brave and the Bold?
No, not Brave and the Bold. The adult cartoon. It has him a drunk.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, thank you. There's the Kingpin wearing a Hawaiian shirt on Disney Plus Hawkeye, which is taken directly from the comic books. You know, and once again, reminder that they need to represent She-Hulk and other things like this that are more tongue-in-cheek to be represented as parody. More parody than it is canon. They can play with canon characters, but remind fans this is actually really parody. And this is something that Kieran and I don't agree on, but we're still friends. It doesn't matter. Furthermore, a number of She-Hulk comics from writers John Byrne and Dan Slott had the same tone. I got to tell you, those comics were funny. They weren't disrespectful or finger pointing, where this show was very finger pointing, very neo-feminist, anti-masculine. The clickbait then turned to John Barenthal's Punisher rumors, speculation of PG-rated Punisher spread, and people like us were losing our shit. Do not soften that vigilante. John Barenthal's portrayal on the emotionally tortured soldier Frank Castle is considered to be the most impactful and accurate to date. His performance, yes, but his villains, not. He was always going up against the mob. And they changed that in the Netflix series, creating a religious right organization for some reason. And what was the other one? Cops, corrupt cops. Yeah. And I don't like that. I don't like that. It's one thing to show some cops, but to show it pissed me off. Anyway, Barenthal portrayal of the emotionally tortured soldier Frank Castle is considered to be one of the most impactful, blah, 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 blah. He approved the depiction of the character without those standards. He said, quote, "It needs to be the level of darkness. I think if there's any let up on that character, you do a disservice to the character, to every iteration of the character, to every comic book that's come before, and to all of the unbelievable fans of the character. The character means so much to people in the military. So like I said before, it's not about whether you do the character, it's about whether you can do it right. And I'm only interested in doing it right," end quote. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm hoping it doesn't get completely boned. Anybody else got any thoughts on Kieran's article and where they think this is going?
Well, I just don't know how much power he would actually have. I mean, I guess he could walk if the character isn't to his
and that
liking.
would hurt them. It would hurt them if he left. Keith?
Yeah, you know what? I just think that given the current state of things, I don't know. Look, they can't even tell us whether or not the actors who played Karen and Froggy are coming back. You know, that's a bit of information that they
We've
to reveal.
even though it's alluded to because they've gotten together, but we've got nothing from them.
There's a lot of stuff just kind of hinky behind the scenes. And again, pointing to what I've said, things have gone completely off the rails since Kevin Feige became the overall guy for Marvel and not concentrating on Marvel Studios, which is how he started. Marvel Studios was his only focus. And I believe that things will probably get better if you get his behind back focused just on the movies. Because seriously, none of his television related stuff is as good as the stuff they did at Netflix. I'm sorry.
No, and sadly, and Disney has made this statement that they put a lockdown, that they've canceled a lot of stuff, which I know is going to impact both, Lucasfilm and Marvel.
Yeah.
And they're going to focus all their energy on their Disney Plus stuff. And all I got to say is so far, it's been a shit show more than it's been good. What are you going to do? I mean, Moon Knight, complete failure.
Oh, shit the bed.
Absolutely. Feige shit the bed. Yeah, sure. Victoria Alonso deserves a lot of that blame, but he's the final decision guy.
Yeah.
So, we need to go to the break.
Oh.
Yeah, like we're not on the radio, so once again, we can wait to the half hour mark. I mean, to the top of the hour. But yes, we do. So we can get it out of the way if you want to. So go ahead. We will be right back, folks, for some more discussing on this stuff. Hi, guys. This is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
A birthday without her mom. An anniversary without her husband. Her wedding day without her dad. These are the days when military families feel it most of all. The loss of their soldier, their sailor, their airman, their Marine, their Coast Guardsman. Families never forget their loved ones lost to war or illness or suicide. Families never forget, and neither do we. We are TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. We provide resources, support, and comfort to heal the hearts and meet the needs of grieving military families, all at no cost to them. Your generosity can make an enormous difference in the lives of the families of our fallen military heroes. Our military families need to know they are not alone and they are not forgotten. Show them your support at taps.org.
Question facing humanity is on
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh wow, we survived. Welcome back from the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. Boogada boogada! Was that wet?
Hope not.
What are you turtling on that one? The wee weasel poking out of the hole. Zax is here too, by the way. Good to see everybody. Real Wade Nation. Chris Gore is praising John Wick 4 like crazy. Look, I don't doubt it. John Wick 4's trailer looks good. And I just don't see them screwing up with that series. There is too much love going into that. And if you're talking about Marvel, absolutely, Loki. This is, Disney. Bob Iger created the problem they're suffering from. He hired all these problematic people, including the one that Chapek fired. And now we're finding out more about, how much. And I'm having to retract some of my statements because I called Chapek ineffective. And he was ineffective. He was ineffective as a manager, but I thought it was more his fault. But what it is the board put a freaking stranglehold on him. And they were part of this whole fire him thing and bring Bob back. And Bob loved that. Yeah, I can see Bob being like Barbecue Bob I used to play with on Xbox, always referring to himself in the third person. That'd be funny. If I ever do Bob Iger, it'd be Bob Iger. Bob Iger liked that guy. Bob Iger hired him. Bob Iger not happy. It's like the copy guy. Copies. Taking copies. And but Zax is here. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Courtney's here. Hi, Courtney. Yeah, we made a joke earlier at my expense as a drummer. You would have loved it. That was this morning. You missed it. And so there you go. Yeah, you survived. I survived the commercial break. You never know with Martin. He might kill me.
No.
This commercial break brought to you by Antonio Banderas Cologne. And I said cologne. I meant to say clone. Why did you do a Bob Dole joke with Bob Iger? No, I was actually doing a joke about a guy I used to play an Xbox with. His name was Barbecue Bob. He always referred to himself in the third person. Funny thing, it was like 3:00 in the morning. We're in a clan battle at 3:00 in the morning. He was hammered. He was always getting drunk. He would progressively get drunk as the evening went on. And he was hammered at one point. And you could hear him. You're like, we're on one part of the map doing something. It's search and destroy. And he's supposed to be doing his thing. And he goes, oh, that boy is shooting at Bob like Bob owes him money. I'm like, what the hell did he just say in my ear? I'm dead. You guys are on your own.
Fatality.
And I'm at laundromat, so I'm listening while you're at the laundromat. I hope it's not on a headset, but full voice, so everybody in the laundromat has to hear us over the machines. That'll be great. So, anybody have any thoughts for the second hour? What are we doing? Anything? So we talked about a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, we got that. I don't know. There's a lot we could talk about, I guess.
Steven, anything you want to talk about?
Oh, no. I don't know. We've done Trek. Star Wars is getting sued, and people are losing their mind over this stupid crap.
Let's talk about that Acolyte lawsuit. Keith, are you back yet? Because I knew he had to leave for a second. He's not back. So we've got a major lawsuit, and Lucasfilm sued for egregious firing a producer on Star Wars series The Acolyte. Lucasfilm, and this is from Variety, by the way. Lucasfilm, the production, which is a shield site, by the way. The production company home to all these things Star Wars has been hit by a wrongful termination lawsuit from Baller's executive producer, Karen McCarthy, who was axed from the Disney series The Acolyte after just a few weeks of work. According to a complaint obtained by Variety as a result of its bad faith and wrongful termination, defendants deprived Miss McCarthy significant employment from which she would have earned millions of dollars over the life of the series. 2 weeks after Lucasfilm and McCarthy apparently settled on a board strokes agreement, without explanation, without reason, without justification, Lucasfilm told McCarthy it wanted out of the deal per the complaint. McCarthy claims that boarding the Acolyte prevented her from taking on a lucrative executive producer position on the Apple series Sugar. According to her agent, David Morris, this deal would have made McCarthy the highest paid producer at Apple. But by the time McCarthy was fired from the Acolyte, the Apple offer was no longer on the table, leaving McCarthy with neither a deal. McCarthy, that is a lawsuit right there. That is absolutely one. McCarthy's counsel at Glacier Wheel, which includes Patricia Glacier, Robert Allen, and Matthew Bernstein, released the following statement, quote, "For over 35 years, Karen has hired thousands of people for several major studios on many high-profile projects. She knows when a deal is a deal. Throughout her entire career, from office assistant, location manager, unit production manager, and eventually producer, she has prioritized fairness, kindness, and human decency. Even after the bizarre and unfounded termination, Karen approached Lucasfilm without a lawyer to get paid for what she was owed. Lucasfilm responded with lawyers and lies. Filing suit was the last resort." End quote. McCarthy claims that when she requested to be paid for the work on the Acolyte, Lucasfilm denied that they even had an agreement, even though, one, they had made their offer containing all the material deal points. Two, McCarthy accepted that offer. Three, Lucasfilm had McCarthy start right away. And four, Lucasfilm sent to McCarthy a memorandum of agreement, memorializing the term, including that McCarthy has already commenced working. That is in itself, it's a kind of contract. Once you do that, send a memorandum stating that you agree to all those terms. It's not a contract, but it shows a lack of good faith on their part to do what they did.
Yeah.
So per the complaint, and that's just my personal opinion, because I've worked with contracts my entire adult life. Per the complaint, McCarthy is therefore forced to bring this action to hold Lucasfilm accountable for its egregious breach of their agreement. And it is. It's an egregious breach. It's bad faith. I know it's a big word. You know, it's one of those like, oh, that means bad. Yes, it is bad. It's a bad faith denial of the agreement, and for the statutory penalties, McCarthy is entitled for what its failure to pay her for her work, and it's right. But is she looking to get blood from a turnip? I don't know. Furthermore, McCarthy demands to be credited as an EP on the Acolyte. Actually, she does have a right for that, for work that was already done, as per her agreement with Lucasfilm, and because, quote, such a credit greatly enhances McCarthy's goodwill and ability to command her higher future wages and more lucrative employment opportunities, period, end quote. Yeah, it's a good statement. I think she's 100% in her right for this. This was, of course, Variety did reach out to Lucasfilm, who gave no comment. Deadline is the first periodical to report on this lawsuit, according to Variety. So, any thoughts on this, guys?
Well, I mean that whole Acolyte series is supposed to be about the high, high period, the High Republic, and so that from the book sales alone is doing poorly.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if they're backing off of it, and they just had this contract they had to dump.
I don't think they backed off of it, but I think something changed. And I think Kathleen decided to make some changes and just kind of figured that this lady would take it. And she's not,
Yeah.
Look, Gary's right. There's a penalty for what she did. Look, this lady, Kathleen,
she has a horrible track record with hiring and firing people.
She was actually turned down another project in order to do this. And that's
Amazon,
also
right?
say what?
Was it with Amazon or Paramount?
Yeah. She turned down an Amazon project to do this. So she's a little miffed. She has more than enough reason to be. Personally, I think Kathleen messed up and they need to pay. I mean, that's really the long and short of it. So this is just really becoming an S show. And after what they've announced for Star Wars Celebration, turning that into the Kathleen Kennedy Appreciation event, this is just this is going to go down the wrong way, kids.
Monkey Jeebus was right. It was Apple. It was sugar on Apple that she turned down.
Okay.
And what happened with that show? Did anything come of it? I've not heard of Sugar. Is it a show yet?
Let me check that out. Sugar on Apple. Sounds kind of unhealthy.
Yeah, you go look that up and you get look up apple plus sugar and you get like apple cider.
Yeah.
Here's how much sugar is in apple cider. I'm serious. That's what I got.
Sugar's an upcoming television series developed by Mark Prosovich, starring Colin Farrell, who also serves as EP. Fernando Marsalis is set to direct. Set to air on Apple TV. The plot's still under wraps. The only thing's known will be a gender-bending contemporary take on private detective story set in LA.
Oh, and again, this falls under the category of slash fiction versus writing good fiction. It's like, are you making this for politics or are you doing it because of the story? That's why I got into that argument with Roger Ebert at lunch because I was making fun of the movie Bound because he says it's an amazing film that treading new territory. So what new territory did it tread other than making the two leads a lesbian couple instead of, your typical, male lead with a femme fatale? What is the big difference? And he couldn't come up with an answer because he had nothing. I said, so are we reviewing films based on our personal politics or are we reviewing films whether they're good or bad? Not that that's what we did as critics. 1996 when I said that.
Good one.
Writing for the Octopus magazine because Roger Ebert used to write reviews for them. And it was funny, and that's why he liked me. I'm like, I took the job that he used to do when he was younger. Very cool. By the way, we have a mustachioed person in the house right now with the single most plastic-looking hair I've ever seen in my life. Swear to God, it looks like hair hats that you wear, What was that show with the guys always exercising? The French dude and the cartoon. They all look like cartoon characters, but they were real live action people.
Lazy Town.
Lazy Town.
Lazy Town.
You got hair like Lazy Town.
Lazy Town.
I love that show, man. I used to watch it with Zoe.
Yeah,
that guy died. The villain.
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, cancer. God, it was terrible.
A few years ago.
I enjoyed that show with my daughter. It was such a hoot watching the show. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
It was, right? It was
I put
bizarre.
that right up there with that Clutch Cargo when I was a kid. Keith remembers that shit. Where they would have cartoon drawn characters with no mouths. And what they would do is they would superimpose human mouths doing the lines, talking like this. It was so bizarre.
That's beyond bizarre.
But Lazy Town, that was a fun show. I really did enjoy that. So what's up, Dorn? What's going on, Dork? Do you like Star Trek Picard last night, Dork?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, in fact, because...
How much do you love it? Do you want to marry it? You want to run off with it for a romantic weekend?
Shane from the Popcast is in town, so I actually filled in for him with Brian yesterday on their show to review it. And I'm hoping to see... Shane before he heads back. He's shooting at the Salty Nerds new studio from 1 to 3, and then hopefully he and I will be able to meet up on his way out of town because I'm like literally the last exit before you leave Vegas, where I'm at.
Oh, hey, look who just popped in, Scott. Hi, Scott.
It's the audio guy.
It's the audio guy. And by the way, Lazy Town was great.
Yeah, it was.
Scott,
I enjoyed the crap out of it.
Yet?
What? I couldn't hear you, Steven.
Have you kicked out Gary yet?
We're working on some details on that cannot be talked about at this time.
Is that why that Bob guy went to Vegas for the 6 feet down condo?
I will never confirm nor deny information.
Yeah, don't confirm that. I'm your alibi. Remember that.
Well, gentlemen, I don't want to interrupt you, but I had a couple quick questions for you guys.
$10 says it's about music.
I bet you it is about music. Yes. First of all, have any of you heard of Texas Hippie Coalition?
No.
Yes, I have. I have heard of Texas.
I sent you the link to it earlier, but this is the newer thrash metal and country fusion mix. And it's really, really good. They've been around since 2006. They got a new album. You guys should really check that out.
Here, I'm going to show you who it is. I'm not sure if I heard it from you or from somebody else, but that's who it is. Texas Hippie Coalition. I like fusion because, like one of my favorite bands was a fusion band from the 80s called, I just forgot their name. They did Happy Boy, Beat Farmers. They were a fusion of punk and country.
Absolutely.
And
so it's a little bit different, but it's kind of cool. But there is a rumor that some of their music's going to be used in some movies or television shows in the near future, but they're not saying what shows or what. So that's kind of
cool.
Interesting. And then real quick, ask everybody on the panel, the new Dolly Parton rock album, it sounds funny, is going to be...
No, it's real.
No, it's a real deal.
It's a real deal. And she is respected in the music industry. She is.
Absolutely. And maybe after Willie gets inducted, they will do a rock album together. Who knows? But
is it her Willie?
But the new Dolly Parton rock album is actually going to be really, really good. You guys should check that out. There's going to be a lot of good music on that, and I'll give you more details as it gets closer. But yeah, I've already been sent information.
Metallica got a new album coming out soon.
Yes, they do.
And some of the songs sound really good that they've released.
Yep.
That's outstanding. That's good news. Shit. What else you got, Scott?
The music for the Shazam album is...
The soundtrack?
Yeah, the soundtrack is good. The soundtrack is really good.
Well, it better be. This might be the last one for a while.
I understand, but the music is really good. I was impressed with all the music, not just one or two songs, all the music, and it's really good.
That's fantastic, dude. That is really good news. What other kind of music news we got?
Nothing major except for the fact that even though the Oscars are Sunday night, be watching who gets best soundtrack, because the Elvis soundtrack could potentially end up winning. We'll see at the Oscars on Sunday night.
That's a good soundtrack.
It's a great soundtrack.
I think the only... Now, do you have the information on Picard Season 3 being released? The music?
I had seen something about that last night. They are wanting to release it, but that's all I saw on it because I was a little bit busy last night.
Oh, okay. Well, because I had heard they were going to release it on vinyl as well.
That's what I heard last night. That's what I looked at, because it was Picard being released on vinyl was the title, and I was like, what? So I read a little bit of it, but apparently my garage troll was making noise, and I couldn't hear last night, so I didn't worry about it.
Hey, Martin, while we're here, I told Scott about that Star Trek bridge game that he got that for me. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Martin.
Oh, Bridge Commander?
No,
yeah.
I couldn't.
I thought you did.
No, I was about to, but Steam told me that if I buy it on Mexico, I can only gift it to people in Latin America. I cannot.
Racist.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
That sucks because I was looking forward to playing that with you. Oh well.
Well, yeah, want to check that out. And there's some actually good music in that game as well. There's some new music in the games, which is really cool as well.
Cool.
That's all I have for you guys. I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but I just want to give you a little update on that. And there are still being people voting for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for a little bit longer, for another week. Well, this weekend. So we'll be surprised who gets the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Who you hoping get in?
Okay. Hold on. Me, the audio guy. I hope Willie Nelson gets in. I hope
we need to get some of those old timers that aren't in, and we need to start moving towards some of the 80s.
I would like to see the Spinners get in,
of course,
but I would also like to see Warren Zevon get in. But I'm not seeing Warren Zevon get in this year because of some of the other people he's going against. I could be wrong on that. Very possible. And then I have a couple others that are going to be more of a surprise that I'm keeping to myself right now. So,
okay.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. I don't want to jinx it, but we'll see if the 80s were real good to us or not.
Okay.
The 14 people being nominated this year for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it was a good group of
list.
People.
Yeah, it was a good list.
Yes. I think a couple people should not have been on there, in my own opinion, but they met the criteria, sales. They've met, 20 years since last album or first album. And so, that makes sense. But I just don't think they're ready for it yet. White Stripes are good. White Stripes are good. But
I don't think they're old enough yet.
Let's go with that. So,
by the way, I was watching a YouTube thing the other night. I thought you'd find this interesting, that the band The Killers are secretly a Christian band.
Yes.
And if you go back and read the lyrics to some of their songs, you will see it in their lyrics. And I went back and listened to my favorite song. Was it Jealousy or whatever that song was called?
Yeah. Yes.
Holy crap. There's some lyrics in there that go, oh my gosh.
When you read the lyrics, you're kind of like going, oh, okay. That's a different take on the words of that song. Yeah, I learned that many years ago.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until recently, and it really caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Good, dude. Good Owen. Good Owen.
Right.
Wow.
All right. Well, gentlemen, have a great day. I hope everybody.
Are you home yet?
No. I'm en route. I'm driving.
He's working.
In between shows, just to let you know, I went out to get something to drink before the show.
You're roboting really bad, Gary.
Like that, and all I could see was little Ivy running from the living room to the bathroom. Really.
Let me explain real quick. All he could see when he stepped out of the secret man cave was Ivy, my granddaughter, running around. So it kind of scared him, and he went back to the garage. So it was kind of cool. We're teaching her to be the baby bear and scare things that come out of the garage. So
I'm guessing the state you live in doesn't have laws, because here in Vegas, we're not allowed to do what you're doing right now. I find that.
What, a state of confusion?
No, he said he was driving while he's on the video chat.
No.
Oh, I don't think he's actually driving because the trees aren't moving in the background.
I pulled over and I stopped so I can be able to comment real quick.
Oh, okay.
Safety first.
Safety first, yeah.
Always.
Good.
Car's not moving.
The more you know.
See, the car's not moving. Car's not moving.
Right.
Always use precaution.
Well, thanks for dropping in.
All right,
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
See you later, buddy.
That just reminded me of, Keith, what you said. In the movie Rocky, he's got like this agent who's trying to get him to do like condominium commercials.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rocky's like, he says no because I never use them. When I was a kid, I did not know what that. I didn't know what that joke was, and when I asked my dad, he was like, you have to wait till you're older. And so like, then when I was older and I watched it, I was like, oh my god, So he thought he was saying condoms, not condominiums. So anyway, I don't know why that reminded me of that, but it did.
Now, I was quoting a friend of mine from school because he used to say that a lot. It's like, dude, really? Always use precaution.
So I might have gone overboard with my article for them. It's like 2,200 words. Like nobody's gonna read it because everybody's got such a short attention span nowadays. Yeah.
So I've got 2 new videos.
Okay.
To show you guys, added to our list. One of them is a new backdoor video, and there was a breach. Backdoor, and here it is. This is my response, and I love this moment. It's in the new Marlowe.
Yeah, you showed it to me yesterday.
Items, and one item that related to the said items.
Why don't we take a ride to the Corbata Club? Maybe he stashed the items there.
Mr. Marlowe, people would talk. When I go into the back entrance. Please leave that remark alone.
Oh, I thought you were going to cut it right where he starts. When I go,
No, I'll get into it. I haven't had a chance to edit it, but I wanted to air it. And then I got this one just for Keith and me.
That was naughty.
He took
Thank
that
you.
role
LXG, man.
He took that role instead of
that was naughty.
Sean Connery will always be the man.
He also skipped out on another movie. He was offered the role of Cybok in Star Trek 5.
Well, they hadn't gotten back to him in time because of a certain person supposedly working on the film to help.
We know. Just say his name. Don't hide it. Just say who it is.
I don't like mentioning him because then bad things happen. Bad things always happen.
Too bad he wasn't as good as Herbert Solo. That's all I got to say. But Herbert Solo loved Star Trek. He actually really cared. The person you're talking about didn't. He wanted it to end, and he wanted to only focus on Next Generation. And that's why what happened.
HB.
So
that's all I'm going to give him is HB.
HB.
Harv.
Better than HPV.
Yep.
Bennett. There
goes my coffee.
Harv Bennett.
Now my water done turned.
Hey, I did.
He's a jackass. Nimoy warned Shatner
Bennett.
not to trust him.
If I say his name one more time, you think he'll appear?
You don't.
Yeah, say his name 3 times in front of a mirror, and you get your own show. That's what Alex Kurtzman did.
And then it'll be canceled immediately.
I'll be back.
Jeez. And the goats.
Didn't see his shadow, so he went back inside.
And the lambs.
By the way, Joe had a really good comment. Speaking of Antonio Banderas, this was earlier. And I watched the new Puss in Boots film. It's really good.
Is it?
Yes, I thoroughly got a kick out of that.
I'll add it to my list.
It's I did not watch it on Peacock because I got to tell you, Peacock is just a garbage streaming service. They really are. It's like 1/100th of what they've got is good, and most of that's the old stuff. Peacock is just a garbage streaming service network. It's NBC Universal, and they have a new documentary though it's a 2-part miniseries docuseries that is really good. Who Killed Robert Wone? And it's a true crime thriller. And the 3 guys that were in the house with him when he died, who are clearly covering up something, get away with it. They ended up being taken to civil court but in civil court, they refused to answer any questions and then settled on an undisclosed amount. And it's just a tragic story, and it's horrifying too, because this was this is a household with a three-way gay relationship. What do they call that? Where they have one of those marriages where they're all married.
Polyamorous.
Polyamorous. They're a polyamorous relationship, and this guy told his wife that he was going to go stay because this guy was his best friend, the guy that owned the condominium right outside D.C. Told him that he was going to spend the night there. Told his wife that. And he'd get a hold of her the next day because he needed to get washed up, get some sleep, and then go back to work first thing in the morning. It was easier to do it that. Apparently went straight to bed. He was there for 90 minutes and was dead. And when they finally did the autopsy on him, they found his own fluids in his bottom. His own.
That's
his
weird.
own. He had been stabbed 3 times, and yet there was very little blood on the bed. None of the stories made sense by the 3 people in the house, and nobody's convicted of a crime.
Whoa. He'd been stabbed 3 times, but very little blood on the bed. So
very little blood on the bed.
He was either murdered someplace else.
When the paramedic showed up, and cut his shirt open, he immediately, his alarms were going off with the way they were acting. They all were walking around in white bathrobes with their hair wet. All 3 of them. And then when he opened the shirt, the blood on this guy's chest had wipe marks. He had been wiped down. There's all kinds of weird shit. Inconsistent stories. And when they finally went to the civil trial, the 3 men in the polyamorous relationship took the 5th Amendment and refused to answer any questions. Did you kill him? It's called Who Murdered Robert Wone? And it's on Peacock. And it is an outstanding crime docuseries. 2-episode docuseries. And it's tragic, stunning, horrifying what was done to this man before he was murdered. That something was done to him. He was sexually assaulted.
Well, it sounds like he was probably murdered someplace else and moved there, or was already dead.
Well, they think he was killed somewhere else in the house. They think he was killed somewhere else in the house, but they don't know where. It's just, you got to watch the docuseries. It is really stunning what happened. And the attorney was a regular on Fox News, the defense attorney, and I've never liked that guy. He is such your typical freaking, goes with the defense. Oh, this means that to them, the prosecution. It's like, well, anybody who looks at that's the first thing that would go through their mind. Yeah, but you're condemning us for thinking that. You're an idiot. I don't like that guy. But what a win record this guy's got. And he won for them. He won for these guys.
Wow.
And
I feel for the victim's wife.
The widow. Yeah. They did not put her on the show because they didn't want to. They felt it was wrong. But what they did is they found 2 guys that were neighbors that are also podcasters that do a crime thing. And they talk about this crime regularly and have done quite a few podcasts on it. And so they were invited onto the documentary to talk, but they just didn't want to bother her. It's like she's already been through enough. And they showed old interviews with her that said everything that needed to be said.
Yeah.
That this is supposed to be his best friend, and he pleads the 5th. And when he's asked, did you kill him or do you have knowledge of who killed him? I plead the 5th. Who does that?
Somebody with something to hide.
Yeah.
That's just wrong on all kinds of major levels. I mean,
and the defense attorney, one of the things that bothered me with him is this guy was 2 of them were into some serious B&D, S&M. And also the prosecuting attorney said that the knife that was supposedly used in the crime is not the right size. And he actually said the knife that was the right size was a knife that was missing out of a private box that was in one of the defendant's room in his S&M cabinet. It's missing. And they tried to say, his mother has that knife. It was never presented. Where is it? It's just bullshit. And the amazing thing they said, and the prosecuting attorney admits to it if you watch this documentary, you really should. I highly recommend it. Said that that he should have chosen for a jury trial. It was just something he regrets to this day. He made the mistake of making a trial by judge, allowing that. And because the judge was back and forth constantly, it was like they said it was a roller coaster ride when she was reading her final decision. It would be like, oh, this sounds like she's going this way. But wait, no, she's going this way now. Oh, wait, now she says this and she's going this way. And in the end, she says that the burden of proof was on the prosecution to prove that they were guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and they didn't. And I'm like, I think with a jury trial, they would have got it guilty. The judge was parsing too much, and you could hear it in her final statements as the judge. Watch this show. I'm telling you, it is infuriating. It's one of the best things, in my opinion, on Peacock.
Okay.
That's a recommendation then.
Gary recommends. So there you go, everybody.
So, well, we're into the last 20 minutes of the show. So what are we going to talk about, guys? Last bit.
Well, look, John Wick. Okay, I gotta say, look, everybody knows I'm a big John Wick fan. I was excited.
It's okay.
The only thing that kind of gave me a little pause is when I found out how long the movie is. But with what I'm hearing, with what I'm reading, this might be the best one yet. I mean, wow. And somebody was already saying in the chat that Chris Gore was raving about it. So,
well, 65 starts this week, and I've unfortunately haven't been hearing fantastic things about it from people I trust. So
I'm watching it actually right now. I paused it before I came on here. I'm not...
Which one is this one?
That's 60 the one where with
Colorado.
Adam Driver, and they go back into it's.
Oh, 65. Yeah, I was responding to somebody, so I didn't catch it. So 65. Yeah, Don and I've been talking about this ad nauseum on the UFO show. I'm telling you, man, this is going to be good. This is going to be good.
Well, I've heard some things from people that I trust. It's not all that great, but I won't know until Tuesday because I'm going to go to the $5 thing. Because
well, I can.
There are two people I listen to, and you guys know who it is: Dave Cullen and Critical Drunk. Those are the only two I listen to for reviews.
Oh wow! Critical Drinker. Both of those guys were on the Monday Night Raw rant, and freaking Terry Metalis showed up. And they were not expecting him. He just showed up first he was in the chat, and then they were like, "Is that really you?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then so they texted him the link, and then he joined, and then of course Robert Meyer Burnett had to join, and then Gary from Neurotic joined. It was like, holy cow! And so you had all these big names on a little channel. I mean, they only have their main channel's got 100,000, but that channel they were on only has 7,000. So that was crazy.
I do like a lot of what you say, Zach. No, I do. But the two reviewers that I actually do religiously listen to, and you listen to them too, and I know you do, is Critical Drinker and Dave Cullen. Because they approach things because I don't even always agree with other writers.
One's Irish and one's Scottish. Go figure.
Yeah, they're both Celts. Because I'm having a bit of a argument with our friend Mike from The Punisher and all that, and over this show on once again on Peacock called Poker Face, which I said pilot episode fantastic, episode 2 through 8 didn't like them. Then episode 9 came out, and I went, this is good. And then episode 10 hit, and watched it last night. And I'm like, that's a damn good episode. And here's what I realized watching it. All three of them have the same DNA on them, dealing with the same story arc. And clearly were written together, all three. And I think they were the ones that were the best written because they're directly connected to each other. and they have some of the same story arcs and characters and plot points. So therefore, they work, and I thought they were very well done. That's episode 1, 9, and 10. Poker Face. 2 through 8, they're meh to bad. Meh. It's like sort of like, yeah, I would probably finish watching the episode. And some I stopped. I'm like, I'm not going to finish watching this. This is just stupid. And I don't like it when they rip off Columbo and then don't make it as good as Columbo.
Well, that's because the round-headed guy is involved with the show.
Yep. Well, originally, a lot of people don't know that what's her name, Natasha, that stars in the show.
Natasha Lynn.
She and Mark Ruffalo were competing for the role of the reboot of Columbo. And so we were expecting this back in 2019. We were expecting a reboot of Columbo. And it didn't happen. What ended up happening is, and I don't know if it was over contracts or what, because CBS has that. Not, and I'm thinking maybe CBS has, but I don't think that's on Paramount. I think it's on Peacock. But it might be Paramount Plus. But it just... it has some of the DNA on there, like somebody spooged on it from Columbo. That's it.
Hey, does my microphone sound any different than it did before?
No, it doesn't. It sounds like mine. It sounds good. Like
you sound very close to the mic. You don't know.
Like we're right above the microphone. It's up, sexy. I like.
I was just checking settings.
You're turning me on, Danny. Danny, you're turning me on. You got pretty lips, boy.
Oh, no.
Squeal like a pig.
Anybody who knows that movie, I was traumatized by that scene when I realized the vocal change when he's doing a squeal. He's like, well. And I realized what happened when he made that noise.
Okay.
Oh, I can't watch that movie. That scene.
Open your back door, Gary.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man.
It's terrible.
That movie freaks me out to this day. I have trouble watching it.
As it should.
Terrible.
And I've said something, and I do have Brian said some shit about it. We were talking about the film, and Brian said some shit, and here's what he had to say about it.
He was a wee bit closer. I could love a caber at him, Gunn. It's just no fair marking his back for the hand of the coin. It doesn't win to anybody. Gunn?
Good old Brian. Hey, Brian's joining us next week, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to join Don and I in the morning for the UFO show. And
cool.
We're going to continue talking about that little incident that took place where certain things were said about alien intelligence. And I'm trying to remember what is that? It's the thing he just did on his show. I forget the name of it.
The Fermi Paradox.
Yeah, that one. And so he's going to rejoin us because apparently Don has done some serious research on this. It's for me, doing a UFO show is like going to school and having fun. Talking shit to my teacher, it's teaching me. That's what I do. And then every once in a while, I have an actual rocket scientist, John Brandenburg, where I get to make fun of a rocket scientist for not understanding how the internet works. John Brandenburg. John laughs about it. He actually finds it funny. I said, it doesn't require rocket science, but we have one.
There was a professor at the University of Missouri in the College of Engineering who was programming satellites and couldn't figure out how to hook up a USB printer.
By the way, Peter Vickman says there's a Family Guy Family Guy shirt that references Deliverance. I don't know what it is, but it's got to be funny. And nothing, Gary. Nope. And by the way, if you don't follow Zach's, follow him. He's got a great channel. Mm-hmm. Share the link to your channel so people can sub to it if they haven't.
Oh, Zach's asked me a question. I'm sorry. I did a whole show about it, but overall, I enjoyed it for the most part.
Which one?
AEW Revolution is a wrestling question. That's why I wasn't going to.
Oh. What's going on?
That's why I was
Sunday?
Intentionally vague. This Sunday, what is going on? Oh, the
Sunday,
Fallout. Sunday. We're doing the Fallout of AEW Revolution. Oh, I guess I haven't done the show about it yet. I'm a dick. I'm sorry, Zax. So we'll be talking about it this Sunday. I believe. I don't know. I'm out of it. Now I have to look. I'm fairly certain. Fairly certain.
Sorry, guys, I had to do a bump.
That's fine. That's fine. It's good. It's good.
From the makers of Cocaine Bear,
okay.
You Love Gary.
Yes. We're doing Revolution results, which is a bummer because it's like week-old news. But we because the pay-per-view came on like a couple hours after our show, but it'll still be fun. The thumbnail's fun. MJF was doing his best impersonation of CM Punk, but instead of muffins, it was pickles. It was hilarious.
Instead of muffins, it was pickles.
Yeah, he was just like eating pickles, and then he was like, "Hey, you have one of these. They're good." And he's like, and he made a dude eat a pickle because he's like a bad guy or whatever. He made the dude eat a pickle, and then he's just like talking. He's like, like crunching on a pickle, and it was just funny. It was clearly a spoof on CM Punk. So.
Nice. By the way, this coming Monday, we are going to be doing a special episode of Military Monday with Gary. Yeah. Helmet piece by Superior Firepower with a B-52 peace sign. That's a B-52 bomber. And just like I had in the Army on my headband. We are going to be talking about a classic film. It is my number 4 favorite film of all time. And it is The Duelists by Ridley Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And it is probably one of my favorite films of all time ever made. And it is the best film, in my humble opinion, as a creative. The best film he ever made, Ridley Scott. Right out of the gate, first movie. And so much of it was serendipitous that it just happened that way. Because they had almost no budget. $900,000 is all they had to make that film. That's it. $900,000. That's under $5 million budget today. That's like a TV movie budget.
Yeah.
And he had big stars. Albert Finney is in there. Oh my God, so many actors in this movie. And the stars, Harvey Keitel and Keith Carradine as the two leads. And it's based off the Joseph Conrad book, The Duel. And it's a true story about this duel that went on for 25 years. And the only thing he changed in the film from what happened in real life and in the book is that there was a relationship, a rapport that actually was built between these two men, that they followed each other's careers and would write one another, congratulating them on something. Whereas this was made more toxic. In the movie, it's more toxic and aggressive. Whereas in real life, yes, Fugere, who Keitel plays, really is an asshole. And in real life, he was an asshole to do it.
He's an asshole.
He really was. Because the other character was sent there with a message from their commanding general to report for dueling. He was in trouble and to put himself under house arrest. So he goes to do that, and he blames this other officer of equal rank and challenges him to a duel. And it's a back and forth thing, because one time one beats the other, but it doesn't end because, it's like he wasn't going to be satisfied until somebody was dead.
Wow.
And the ending is one of my favorite endings of all time. This is the same guy who wrote Heart of Darkness. That became Apocalypse Now. Joseph Conrad. Amazing. The N-Word and the Narcissus is another book of his. And by the way, Keith.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that in my apartment, that I had that coffee table edition of his book sitting out there just to F with people when they would come over? Joseph Conrad's book, The N-Word and the Narcissus, right on my coffee table. I would put it there.
It's like, well, there's that.
Just to mess with people, because it gets into their head. And I'm like, that's classic literature. I couldn't believe they didn't change it. I mean, they changed Agatha Christie's book title 3 times. First, it was Three Little Inwards, then it became Three Little Indians, and then it became And Then There Were None.
Yeah.
Hey, can I got to play this clip. It's just like I'm going to play like 3 seconds of it, if that's okay.
Go for it. Go for it.
Well, you got to share. Yeah.
You're not logged in. Okay.
Yeah. All right. All right. Here we go.
Who likes to use canola oil? I find it amusing. It makes me laugh. But he's an asshole.
That's when you were like, he's an asshole. I don't know if you've ever seen this. It's like only like
he's doing Chris Walken. I can
yeah,
tell.
yeah. It's called Cooking with Christopher Walken. And if you ever get a chance to watch it, it's like 15 years old. When I used to run Postmodern Moron in 2010, we wrote a whole article about this, and we were trying to pitch a real thing. And then I'm not kidding. And then 5 years later, Christopher Walken does an actual. There's a like, it's like really him. It's like really him cooking. So he does the skit with Funny or Die.
I do. I've actually watched that show where he was doing it. You know, he'd have a guest, and they would go prepare a meal. It was actually fun. I love Christopher Walken. I adore that man. He would come on Conan O'Brien, and he's like, O'Brien asked him like, how is your hair like that? And he says, every night before bed, I grab handfuls and I pull. And he did it on camera, showing how he says, I'm flexing the roots of the hair, keeping it healthy.
We were talking about Superman the other day when I was on with Keith. And oh my God, did you see? I know Joe saw it because he commented on it on Twitter, and it's the only reason I saw it. Some paparazzi took Gene Hackman looks like the Walking Dead.
He's in his 90s.
He's 93. They took a picture of him getting like medicine and coffee, and he's unrecognizable. Like I'm almost like
I knew it immediately who it was, but
you've seen it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw it.
Oh, he looks so frail.
He still sounds good when he does voiceover work, but that's all he does. And I don't think he's done anything like that in 5 years. I think 5 years was.
He hasn't been in a movie in 20 years, and it's a shame because the last movie he did was with that Ray Romano guy. It was not a good movie.
Was such a bad movie.
Yeah, it was not a good. Yeah, and that was his last
presidential election movie.
Yeah,
yeah. Running Mates.
No, it wasn't Running Mates. I would have.
Wasn't?
No, Running Mates is. God, now you're gonna make me look.
Right. James Gardner and Jack Lemmon. No.
Yeah, that's Running Mates.
Yeah. And Dan Aykroyd. That's the movie.
Gene Hackman. It's got like
Hackman.
Welcome to Mooseport.
Oh yeah, really bad. Really bad.
Yeah.
He should have ended it with Behind Enemy Lines, to be honest with you. But Runaway Jury is a pretty good film. But Behind Enemy Lines, what a great film to retire on.
Yeah. I know, man. How are you going to do like he has like I'd say at least 3 out of the last 5 movies he did were bangers, at least. You know what I mean?
Well, I like that one. I actually am a big fan of the film The Royal Tenenbaums.
Tenenbaums, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I would include
and he's
that.
Apparently a real asshole on set.
I mean, I believe it. I mean, I've heard all kinds of stories about him. He was in The Mexican. I don't remember that. I used to love that movie. Anywho.
The one with Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
And Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
And Gandolfini.
Yeah, Gandolfini. James Gandolfini was in it, yeah.
It's a good film. I do like that film.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. They must come down. This film didn't really work for... Hold on a second. What's going on? I'm sorry that this film didn't really work for me. Maybe rewatching it helps. Which one are we talking about?
The Duelist.
Oh, The Duelist.
Yeah, she didn't get into it. She did not get into it, but I don't care. It's like if somebody doesn't get into the film, that's fine. At least recognize the artwork. It's a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece of filmmaking. And structurally, it's a great story, well written by a real screenwriter, and it is adapted from another masterpiece of writing by Joseph Conrad. And you just don't get better than that. Popeye Doyle is a great role that he played. I agree with you. I do. It's a good role. Before we go, what were your favorite Gene Hackman roles? What was your most favorite?
Jeez.
Well, it has to be Lex Luthor.
Oh no, come on. No.
Look, I enjoy that. I do like that, but that's your decision.
He was not a good Lex Luthor in my opinion.
Well, whoa.
No,
he was good. He just wasn't comic accurate.
He's
nothing like the comic. He's very funny. He had great lines.
Okay. Yeah.
He had some great lines in that movie. Actually, he has great lines in both movies.
I don't know, he's a real dick in Crimson Tide. I mean, that was, that's a really.
He's a very strict officer.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite films.
Nah, I think he was, but that's okay.
No.
I didn't hear what Keith said.
No, I think that's my favorite film role of his.
What's that?
Of Lex Luthor?
No, Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide, yeah. He's so good in it. And then if you want like his goofiest role, I wouldn't even give that to Lex Luthor. I'd say the guy he played in Get Shorty.
He was great.
Where he's trying to be
Harry Zim.
Yeah.
Harry Zim is the character's name. He's one of my favorite characters. And the deleted scene from that movie pisses me off that it didn't end up in the film. Where he's sitting there getting mad at Ben Stiller, who's the director on his horror film. And he's taken forever to get this shot. And he threatens to fire him. And it's one of the best moments where he says, I remember the first time I got hired on a film was the movie with Robert Redford and Jane Fonda, where they fall in love. And he says, and I remember I was hungry. I hadn't eaten. Or no, he was working on another film and he went to the store to get a candy bar at a dime store. And he says, and there are these two women talking to the cashier about having just gone to see the new Redford Fonda film in the park, whatever that movie is called. He says, and they were talking about how
Walk in the Park,
whatever that movie is called, and what a great scene, how they were beautiful together in the dialogue, and how they're falling in love, broke their hearts, made them cry, and all that stuff. And he says, and after all that was said and done, he goes, do you know what they didn't talk about? The angle the cinematographer decided to shoot a scene from. Shoot the fucking scene or I'll fire you and get somebody else to do the job for half the price. And it's one of my favorite moments, and it's not in the movie. It's in the outtakes. Barry Sonnenfeld did a great job on Get Shorty. What a movie.
Oh, I like that movie a lot, yeah.
Oh, I'm a big fan of that film. I enjoyed the second film, too. But Gene Hackman is Harry Zim, who is a nod to all the great, what do you call it?
It's not.
Movie directors of the late 50s, early 60s that were making those B horror films and shit.
We have 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left.
The Conversation and Enemy of the State, because they're technically one movie. It's the same character spread out over 2 films.
I'm going to tell you mine right now. I like him in The French Connection. Yeah. I really enjoyed him in Unforgiven. But my absolute favorite performance was just a bit part in a little comedy called Young Frankenstein. And he made that damn movie. I'm serious. Just that whole scene with him being the blind guy was so beautiful and funny. And he did that for no money. He didn't get paid. He just wanted to be in that movie so bad to prove that he could do comedy.
Barefoot in the Park. Sorry. Barefoot
in the Park. That's the movie.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're down to the last thing. So I better thank everybody for being here. I want to thank my panel. I want to thank Fat Steven Seagal, co-host, and co-host Keith. And I want to thank my manager of the chat, Martin. I want to thank Das Wölfen for being here. Yeah, thank you very much. Anybody else that jumped in here? I forget. But, of course, Dork Knight. Did somebody jump in and leave?
Scott.
Scott did. Yeah.
Scott did. That's right. Scott,
Audio
thanks
guy.
for dropping in. And then Monkey Jeebus, Anima Confusus, Sox Bulletins, Joe Fox, Bush McFadden, Dragon Ruse, Wajid Leakey, War Monkey, Real Wade Nation Gaming, Dork Knight, who is also here, Loki's Morning of Mischief, Zach's, a.k.a. Kyle, Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs, Joe's Atmosphere, Scott Lewis, Penny, Donnie Pearson, and, of course, Vinkman's girl, Peter Vinkman Fansite. I want to thank you all for being here.
Is just
Cam just dropped in. Hi, Cam. Sorry, we got to go. And again, Penny, thanks for giving birth to this idiot down here.
And remember, tomorrow's for Saturday morning fun time in the increasingly later hour of 1 Central.
Tomorrow's going to be Hanna-Barbera.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about that. Keith's going to bring his A game. You better, dude.
Big shout out to Marine.
And don't forget, Brandon's got a show before ours, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Marine Gene Hackman.
And
Simplify.
I actually just pulled up Crimson Tide on Paramount Plus. I think I'm going to throw that on while I finish some graphics up.
And I stream as well every day of the week. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, don't throw it out there. Put it out there.
I stream, you stream, we all stream. You going to have me on sometime, Fat
Share that
Steven?
link.
Sure.
Always
I'm
do
also
that,
the
Steve.
graphics artist for Valiant Renegade and WD Pro. I handle all their thumbnails as well as all their channel art and everything.
Great job.
Yeah, I need to talk to you about that also, but I'll pick your brain about some stuff.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the show. Have a great weekend.
Mod, put my link in the chat.